the video. I don't know why I said it like that. Okay, so going back and kind of recapping what the last video was. The 4th grade summer camp, the 4 boys I had to choose from, the funny fairy story that I told, and then I got in trouble for spreading Bloody Mary and the fun stuff. Just to recap from last time. So this story, I'm sorry, I had to like take out the braids because they weren't working out for me. This story was when I was still at the same school, but I was in aftercare, and this was during the year. And like I said before, I don't remember if this was during the third grade year or the 4th grade year, but I just remember that it was during the year, sometime when I was in aftercare. So I met this friend named Elle. I'm calling her Elle, that's not her real name. Back in 3rd grade. But I knew her from that time on. So this was an interesting story, so I thought I'd share it with you. I ended up getting in a lot of trouble from this story, so Elle's mom actually came to pick her up. And at this time I was having a lot of issues with my own family, not seeing my dad anymore. And Elle had a really good relationship with her mom on and off because Elle lived with her grandparents and her grandparents didn't like her mom, so she didn't get to see her mom very much since her dad had custody of her and not her mom. And I think this is why her dad has custody of her, and you'll get to know after. So Elle was getting picked up by her mom, and her mom was gonna take her to the store to get her something nice after not seeing her for a little bit. I went up to her and I'm just like, can I go too? And she said, well, you didn't ask your mom, you have to go and ask your mom. So I go to aftercare. I went to the door for aftercare, pretended to wait long enough to call my mother, and went back to her and I said, okay, I called my mom. She said it's okay. And she's like, apparently that was enough for her to say, oh, okay, let's go. So technically she kidnapped me because my parents didn't know where the fuck I was. And this lady that they did not know, because they knew Elle, they knew her dad and her grandparents, but that's it. They didn't know who she was because she wasn't in Elle's life enough. Elle's mom makes me sit in the back and Elle's in the front seat, and we are driving down the road and we stop at a stoplight, and apparently the person behind us doesn't stop in time and actually rear ends us. And it wasn't too bad, it was just like this, like it was sudden and scary, but it wasn't bad. And she looked back at me and she looked at Elle and she's like, are you guys okay? We're like, yeah. And by the way, the thing that hit us was a semi, and we're lucky that we just did this instead of something else. She just drove away. She didn't go to look at the rear end or do anything else. She just drove away. So we went to the store and she ended up buying Emma like a dress and a pet shop. And I asked her, I was such a selfish child, I gotta tell you that. I asked her, can you get me something too? And she's just like, no, I was just getting something for Emma. I don't know who you are. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I was like really disappointed throughout the whole trip that she wasn't gonna get me something. And while I was with them, I did feel really nervous that I was gonna get caught, because obviously I was gonna get caught. I was gone long enough for them to worry, but I was gone long enough for them to not call the cops, which is weird. Elle eventually took me back to the school, and the aftercare program found me coming back, and my mom was there. And my mom went to go see who dropped me off, and it was Elle's mom, and my mom got pissed off at her for taking me, and she should know better. And but Elle's mom was just like, but she said that she can go. She said that she called you, and my mom's just like, she never called me. And it was just so much of a mess, and I got in so much trouble, but it was well deserved because that's not okay. But yeah, that's that. And I think that's all I'm going to tell you in the video, just because that in itself was probably very wild. Probably one of the more wildest things, one of the most wildest things that have happened to me while I was at that school. But that is actually the last story that I am going to tell about this school. And I think, let's see, it's the last story I'm going to tell about the school, like the school actually involved, but it's not the last story that I'm going to tell about Elle. And Elle is a very wild trip, I'll tell you that. So that's just the beginning. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. It's very small compared to the other ones that I've been telling. But yeah, that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next video. So, bye guys.